Hello, hi. Once again, this is Tracy with Traces of Inspiration. I wanted to talk about rejection today and also line it up with God wanting to cleanse us completely, wanting to make us be spotless. So I had a dream recently about my childhood, and within the dream it took me back to when I was really young, like probably 5 or 6 years old, and there was like this young little boy that I had a crush on, and he resided in my neighborhood, and I saw him within the dream, and I woke up. When I woke up, I felt very down, full of sorrow, heavy, and I was just kind of like, okay, yeah, I saw him in the dream, but like, why am I feeling this way all of a sudden? But when I took some time to reflect what this person meant to me, and and how I felt like about the person, I started to, the memories of how I deeply cared for him. Like, of course, I was really young, but as a crush, like, I mustered up the courage one time to let him know, hey, I kind of like you. And immediately in that time, he was like, ew, no, I don't like you, you're ugly. And I kind of brushed it off, but it did something to me. And I'll say that it did something to me because in my adult life, when I played back that scenario and that situation, those words of being told that he didn't want me, he didn't like me, and that he thought I was ugly, like, that broke my heart. I started to just try to put it in words, and the word that came up was rejection. Rejection does not feel good. And like I said, although I was really young during that time, I truly believe that God brought that situation back up to help me to get healing in that area, because that hurt so much. And I've been subconsciously holding that in my heart for all of this time, not realizing the impact that it had on me. And the thing that I would constantly replay in my mind is that, man, it was so long ago, you were so young, like, yeah, it was just a little crush, but I cared for that person. And they said some words that were hurtful, and by their actions of not accepting me, that broke me in other areas in my life. This teaches me, along with other things that I've gone through in my life, is that even those things that we feel are insignificant or that we didn't even believe had some type of impact on our lives, God will bring it up. He will allow it to resurface. And in that resurfacing, He doesn't just bring it up just to leave us hurt, abused, and exposed. He brings it up to cleanse us, to help us process it, to get healing in that area, to feel whole. And I'm grateful that He brought it up, because I had to pray over my young self, and I had to speak to myself and remind myself that I was beautiful, remind myself that I am loved, remind myself that I am wanted, remind myself that I am enough, and, remind myself that I'm God's beloved. So I'm grateful that God brought that up, as painful as it was, and as long ago as it was. I'm grateful that God is so caring, so loving, so compassionate, that He revisits everything in our life in its proper season when we are ready to deal with it. And He makes us spotless and blemish free. That's God's love. So hopefully someone is inspired and you were able to get something out of that. And just know that God loves you, and that He will never just leave us with pain, trauma, and hurt. He will help us process it. And He will cover it with His grace, His love, and His mercy. God bless you, and hope you are inspired. Once again, it's Traces of Inspiration.